You're listening to Excess Baggage. Excess Baggage.
What's up, world? It's Katrina
and Marlena, and this is Excess Baggage,
the podcast where two friends in their 30s unpack all of life's baggage. This episode, we'll be unpacking Christmas memories and traditions.
Okay, let's start the show.
Hey, girl.
Hello. I purposely did that because I'm not in a hey. I'm not in the spirit yet.
Okay.
But maybe this episode will
get you there.
Guide me there.
Okay. I respect that.
Yeah. I have problems with the holidays at times. I think I'm getting better though. I think that's part of my baggage is that, or, you know, for going into that, what my baggage is that it keeps shifting. Like I can have moments where I'm like, yeah, I'm watching all the Christmas movies. I'm watching everything, man. I'm in here with my cocoa. I burn my lip. You know, I made me some cookies.
Why is that a part of the tradition? Why is that a part of it?
Because you get too excited. It's all like whatever, you're getting cozy. And then you're just like, no, man, I shouldn't have sipped it. It's just too soon. You know, I usually have, you know, holiday themed cocktails and things that I do when I'm putting my tree up and everything. But I don't know. It's just, I'm not hopeless or anything. You know, I'm not Charlie Brown status or anything, but I'm definitely just like, okay, I need a jump start, you know, kind of like when you're, what are they, the jumping cables? You know, I need somebody to kind of just like, whoo, like just give me a little whatever.
Well, it's been a really wild year for you.
Yes.
So I can imagine that contributes.
It has. I think that's it. I think emotionally it's been a wild year, and I'm just now at the point where I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm feeling stronger, but there is still uncertainty in certain departments. So
yeah.
I have goals and things like everybody else before the end of the year. And it's just like, I'm just hoping that I can get a few of those done before we hit the first. But I'm not going to put so much pressure where I'm like, you didn't do that, blah, blah, blah. You know, like I'm just going to give myself a little challenge, a little just like, all right, like set aside these hours to take care of X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to work it into the schedule.
Okay.
I'll work my jingle jangle into the schedule. No. But other than that, I think I'm okay. Like I feel very level-headed right now.
Okay.
Like, I feel kind of like if I'm tapping into my Libra babies, like there's a level of like, there's just level-headedness and judgment. You know, there's no judgment. There's just kind of like, okay, this could be this way or that way. Like, you know, which way are you going to go without it reflecting or, you know, making me feel some sort of way or becoming my own villain. You know, I think we sometimes create like villain stories in our heads that is just like, yo, I don't think it was that deep, but you know, maybe it was to you in the moment, but I think that it either A, you know, has left the building, it's went over somebody's head, like it's still with you. So I'm just trying to like stay in the process of being like, no, like you're balanced, you're grounded, you're good. Like everything's fine, even if you're not feeling it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's good.
Yeah.
Good for you. Hopefully Christmas spirit follows.
That's the part that I'm like, yeah. Cause like, I just remember being so like, just excited. And I don't know if that, and we'll talk about it, but like, I don't know if that like dwindles as you get older or what, or if you don't have children, you know, how do you still cling on to like the merriment of being in these traditions?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. But anyway, what about you? How are you doing? What's your baggage, if any?
Isn't there always baggage?
Yeah, it's ongoing. I don't think
there's ever not baggage. Now, what it is, any given day, I don't know. I'm doing okay. I'm tired though. Like, just want to go to sleep. want to lay down. I feel like I am in hibernation mode. Like my body just wants to hibernate. Part of that is because my cycle is well on her way and it's been a minute. So, yeah, I haven't had a cycle in a minute. So, I think it's wearing me out right now. And I'm just trying to figure out how to function in the meantime. But what is my baggage? I think my baggage today is I feel like I am struggling with like ruminating on things a lot, like having a hard time letting things go, but not like holding a grudge as much as like just releasing it out of my mind.
I get that. I get that more than you know, friend. More than you know,
like,
I get that.
I ain't going off on nobody. I ain't holding grudges. I ain't like, it's none of that. But I think I'm in this state of like just constantly thinking about stuff or finding things popping back into my head over and over and over again, like replaying conversations or situations. And I'm sure that is my brain and like my nervous system's way of like figuring out what it looks like to protect myself. But I also am struggling with figuring out how to just like, how do I just let this go? Like, what's done is done. What's happened has happened. There's been conversations to make amends or to shift or like, or not, or whatever. Like, the conversations have been had. The things have been done. We're on the other end of this. But for some reason, I just can't seem to not keep thinking about it. So, yeah, I have therapy tonight. I'm going to talk about that's going to be the topic of therapy tonight. Because I'm like, why you wake up thinking about this, Katrina? Why are you in the shower thinking about something random that happened, months ago? Like, why is that still lingering? And I recognize how much energy I'm putting into that because I'm thinking about it so much. And it's not just one thing, it's a bunch of things. Like, shit just keep popping up. And I'm like, okay, so what is happening? And I don't think I do this normally or often. So there's something.
I'm bad at it, bro. I'm so bad at it.
I have definitely had moments, but it's not like an all day, everyday thing for me. So I'm also like, what the fuck is happening that it's on your mind this much right now? What's going on in your head? So yeah. It's exhausting though. I don't know how you do this all the time.
Yeah, it's exhausting. It really is. And then after a while, you just kind of realize, at least for me, in my, replaying of moments and things like that, it's me not being able to relinquish control because I keep thinking in my mind, had I said this or had I done this? That's still me controlling said scenario. And instead of me saying like, hey man, like, guess what? In that time, that's what happened. That's what needed to happen. Was it right? Was it wrong? It doesn't matter on either end. It happened. And I had to kind of, at least, I told you, like in the last couple of months, I've just had to come to a point where I'm like, okay, let it be. It is what it is, and I can't, I've given, and like you said, it's exhausting. It's taking, even at the age that I am, I feel like it's taking some years off of my life, by keep saying like, well, if I just would have, or I'll reread this message over and over again. I just got to look for that moment when things went left, or when was the moment that either I gave up or this person gave up or whatever it is, I'm just like, no, like I have to trust in divine timing if you are a spiritual person. And in that moment, those things were needed to be either be said or done.
I think that's part of it for me. Part of it is I'm trying to figure out like how I want to operate. And I think a lot of it is more forward thinking than past thinking. Like, yeah, I have those thoughts of what could I have said differently or whatever. But a lot of my thoughts are more so like, how do I prevent this in the future? And
yeah, that too.
There's this piece of it that's also like, I don't even know how to describe it. I really don't even know how to describe it. It's I don't know.
No, because I know what you mean, because what you just said, like to learn from it,
Yeah.
to make sure, but then at the same time, I don't want my guard up so much
That it becomes a
that becomes a
problem.
problem, and then the other
Yeah.
person then looks at you and goes, "Wait, what?
Like, what the fuck?
What do you mean?" Like, again, it was never that deep, but
Right.
you're speaking from your experience and things that there's a level of, I don't want to say disappointment, but like an expectation, like, oh, this is going to happen again because it's happened,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not giving
And
a person the wherewithal to, like, okay, they could just make a mistake and that be a one-off, then for me to be like, no, and more no.
it's going to happen again because this is a part of how this person shows up. And I think for me, it's also, but how did I contribute and how can I show up differently? Like, the pressure is more on me. Like, I am thinking about the situation and how I felt about it and how that was hurtful or whatever and how I didn't like it. But I understand that I can't control somebody else. And so I think I'm more so thinking about, like, that didn't feel good. I don't want to be in that experience again. So how can I show up different? And maybe part of the reason it keeps replaying is because I don't know how to show up differently. But then also part of it is also just like random shit from the past too, that I'm like, why are you thinking about that? Like, that was 10 years ago, Katrina. Like, where did that even come from? But that's why I'm like, there's a theme here that I think I'm missing, and I think I just need to spend some time with it. And, I haven't completely done that other than just ruminating on these thoughts.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
We'll see. We'll see what we'll let the professional handle it.
Right.
And see what she got to say.
I'm convinced that I told you this before, but I'm really convinced that my therapist thinks that, like, oh, she's crazy, but not like crazy, like, oh, crazy, but like, she's just like, just some of the things, like, I think I can read people's facial expressions really well because I do it. Like, you can't hide anything from me. Like, like, my face will tell it before. And so when I tell her certain things, I'm telling you, like, there's no way for her not to have a reaction. So I have to legit.
But do you be saying off the wall shit? Because Marlena, sometimes you be just saying shit. And I can understand why somebody might look at you that way.
No. I mean, if we're talking about something specific, and what's happening, I will tell her, like, where not even so much like where I was coming from, but how I felt in that moment, And so sometimes she's like, wait, whoa, let's bring this back. Like, I'm always being walked back because I know that
because you probably be saying some off the wall shit and say it real casual.
Yeah, I do.
Marlena be like, and then I thought, I'm going to kill this man. And just keep talking like she didn't say that.
Right. But I ain't really, no. Well, ask some of my boyfriends. They would say I am a threatener, like, as a joke. But, like, I think they know, like, don't fuck with her. Like, just don't fuck with her. Like, because it is very casual the way that I will throw it in there. Because I know.
Yes. But as a therapist, we need to ask for clarity. Like, I can't just have you stepping out of session after you said, I'm going to kill this man in a real calm, cool, and collective voice, and me not ask further questions. That's my whole license. If something happened, if you step outside of this room and something happened, my license is gone.
You know what? But guess what?
Shambles.
I know the depth of my vanity, and I know that I would never do something like that because, honey, you will not catch me in no fucking jumpsuit every fucking day. Orange, girl. You're not even in nothing appealing. You're not even nothing that, like, you can kind of style up. Nothing, like, they it's a no. And I'm a food snob. Like, it's just a no for me. So there's never going to be a moment where I'm actually going to act on something. But, like, I be having moments where I just say how I feel in the moment,
Yeah, and she gotta make sure that she gonna have a license.
She does, and she's really good about it. She's really good about it. But I just know that I imagine that if therapists have conversations about patients, not in a way of displaying, but I'm sure she's probably said like, yeah, I have this one patient who, yeah, every session.
She's something else.
She's something else. Yeah, like I can imagine that's chatter. But anyway.
Knowing you, I can also imagine that there's much worse out there in the world. Because the shit that I hear and see, you would be a mild case.
See? I know. That's why I let my little freak flag fly, really, you know, in therapy. Like, why not? Because I know there's some way more. I know there's some way more shit out there that I ain't nowhere near. So it's just like, just let it all out. Go on, be you. Because what you paying for then?
Listen, the things you like, I am no longer surprised at the things that go through people's heads. Being a therapist as long as I have been. And I wouldn't even say I have a very extensive career because I'm only in my 30s. But I am no longer surprised at anything that come out of anybody's mouth. Like, I didn't expect that from you, but okay.
That's a good thing. You know what? That's a good thing. I'm just saying that's a good thing. I know that's a good quality. And if you were ever to like consider like being a mom, that would be a great quality to have. Because your kid would be like, yo, I did da 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 da. You're like, wait, whoa. Okay.
Run that back.
Yeah. Please. Do share. Fill
me in on how that happened. How did we get there? That's what I want to know. It's usually, I'm not surprised at the things that come out of people's mouths, but I'm usually like, but how did you get there? That's usually what it is. Like, I didn't expect that from you. So how did you land there? Connect the dots for me.
And it's always, I feel like the unassuming. I just feel like it's the unassuming. The people that you think is going to like really pop. I think it goes the other way. I really do.
Sometimes, yeah.
But anyway.
Some people really do. Anyways, I don't know how we got here. Christmas.
That's what Christmas means to me, my love. Oh, yeah. I don't even know if that sounded good,
Thank you for that.
You know, I had a Christmas moment.
It was what we needed.
And there.
This is exactly what we needed.
You know, we'll fix that in post. But I was going to say, Xmas or Christmas memories and traditions.
Why did you read it?
Because you know what? There's people, and I don't know why. Y'all got to lighten up, Francis. Like, really. If you spell Christmas like Xmas, some of the religious folk, I ain't trying to call y'all out. Love y'all, send y'all love and light, but they get really upset about Christmas because you take the Christ out of it. Because
you're taking Christ out of Christmas.
But we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there because it's been out of Christmas, bro. It's been out. Like,
okay, yeah.
It's been. What do you mean?
Is Christ in Christmas for you?
No.
This face.
No. I mean, I think love and all the things that it's supposed to represent is what it is for me.
That makes sense.
But, baby in a manger, the whole
some random little white baby that came as a miracle out of nowhere from a virgin. Wait, come on now.
But even if that is true, I don't think it has anything to do with Christmas.
Yeah, no.
So, but that's neither here nor there.
I think that goes into traditions though. I think that speaks a lot to traditions. Like if Christ, if Christmas is really about Christ for you and this origin story of Christ, then I would imagine that impacts the type of traditions that you are involved in.
That's true.
And how you celebrate.
That's true, because I was watching something and they were like, yeah, we're going to church first. Like they go to church and then they come home and they eat and then they exchange gifts or, something like that. And I go, oh yeah, but we never did that. My family, it's not that, I was definitely raised in a house that was Christian, but, we didn't go to church on Christmas. I don't think ever in my life. Maybe when I was a child. And I highly doubt that. My mom will have to back me up on that, or she would have to fact check that. I don't know, but I know, like we when Christmas was happening, we had plays and things that we were doing,
Yeah.
stuff like that, or a gift exchange at school, or you pulled a name, we had traditions like that, a Christmas bake off, we had things like that, but not necessarily we're going to church.
Yeah.
That was more of an Easter thing for us, like Easter, but not Christmas.
Both of my grandmothers did church for these very specific holidays, Easter, Christmas. I don't know whatever other ones. But typically, if we did go, we never went on the day of. We would go to the night before.
Oh, okay.
Because we wouldn't do like the morning of Christmas. We would have too much stuff going on. So it would be like maybe we went the night before and just did like whatever that evening service was. And so I know my parents weren't necessarily into that as much, but my grandmothers would go. One of my grandmothers was really involved in church. And so sometimes I think she would take us, but it was never something that was like, I don't remember it being a regular thing. And it wasn't something that my parents really participated in. So we definitely went, but it just wasn't the day of. And Christmas was never like Christ centered for us. Like even just the conversation about like the story of what the day is supposed to be about was, I guess we talked about it, but I don't know that I ever truly believed that we celebrating Jesus's birthday. Like, I don't know that was ever like.
I'm sure someone told me that, but yeah, I don't think it was ever presented like that.
No, it was never the center of anything.
No.
So yeah, but
then, okay, think about it then. If we're going with that, then where does Santa come in?
Right. And that's why I'm like, I think that impacts your tradition.
Yeah,
because
it does.
If that's really what you are celebrating, you might not be celebrating in the same way everybody else is celebrating. It might look different for you.
I know it's St. Nicholas, but then it became Santa, and it became a commercial of a man with a beard, like everything else,
coming down your chimney, moving through the entire world in one night.
So I think that was the part that was really hard for me to wrap my head around. Because what do you mean?
How?
Oh, and by the way, if you do listen to this with your children, I'm gonna give you a disclaimer now. We're gonna be talking about some things. So if you haven't revealed anything to them yet, then you might want to go on and take a pause here.
Don't be sharing Santa's secrets.
Yeah. I just was like, I think I liked going along with the pageantry of it all. Like, I liked the whole, like, let's bake cookies. Yeah, because then I got to eat cookies.
Then I get to eat cookies.
Like, I don't think I was ever like, yeah, and I gotta, again, we're in our 30s now, so I would really have to talk to somebody because I don't remember ever being, I got this list for Santa. Like, maybe a list, but like writing a letter to Santa. Like, how they have like the Santa mailbox and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I don't think I ever wrote a letter to him. I definitely listed like
what you
want.
I
like the Power Rangers, doll, or I want the, or whatever. Like, I think it was just things. I don't know.
I did all the things.
Okay.
I did all the things. And my mom is a very creative person. So she pulled out all the stops.
Oh, that's nice.
She pulled out all the stops. Like, we had full-on letters to Santa. I don't know if they ever went to those mailboxes, but my mama, I know for a fact this woman wrote me back.
Oh, Santa. You got a letter back?
I got a letter back. Girl,
yeah, girl.
we had all the things. We had Santa letters and Christmas lists, and we was making cookies and leaving them out. Like, we pulled out all the stops. I was doing all the things. And I think being the oldest, I'm sure when I was young, I really believed, like really, really young, I really believed what was happening. But being the oldest, I feel like I also just had to like uphold tradition. And it was okay. It was fun for me. Like I was never that person that was like, ugh, like why y'all still believe in? I don't remember ever being that person. I was just like, it's fun. Like I know it's my mama and my daddy putting the presents under the tree and eating the cookies in the middle of the night. I know that. But I want my sisters to have this experience. And I want my little cousins to have this experience. And to this day, I put From Santa on some of my presents.
That's nice.
At one of my grandmother's houses, all of the presents were from Santa. We never gave gifts directly to individuals. When you came in the house, you put whoever's name on the present, you put it under the tree. And then at some point, everybody would just get the presents that had their name on it and you just opened it. All the presents were from Santa. I think that was their way of like making it so that everybody got something, but you didn't have to worry about if you had money this year or if you could afford something or whatever. Like it didn't matter who it came from. Her siblings, our parents, they would put their money together and they would buy a little bit of something for everybody. And then if you brought something, you brought something. And then everybody got presents. And it didn't matter who it came from. You said thank you to everybody in the space. And that was like the way that we did it. So even to this day, a lot of our presents say From Santa. So I don't even like necessarily believe in this man, but like it is a way of privately giving gifts or like community giving, if you will, so that it doesn't put pressure on people's pockets. Like there's a pool of money that the elders pull from to buy gifts and everybody gets a little bit of something. And it don't matter if your auntie bought it or your grandmama bought it. And you can't be mad at grandma for not getting you anything because it came from Santa. And you know that Santa is the adults. Like, that's it.
Yeah, that didn't happen for me. Let's see. I was raised by older people. So I think they were done with all of the like,
that makes sense.
Extraness of it all. You're getting a tree. In my early years, I would say, there was more going into with, the lights on the house and making it festive. So you'll get some festiveness, but everything under that tree was for me. I mean, except for like whatever my grandparents, I assume, gave to each other, but I hardly ever, like they might have opened like a few things, maybe from like my dad or somebody else, but for the most part, before my brother came, I just had everything. And I knew that it wasn't from the fucking Santa Claus. I'm sorry. I knew, because when you have people that are older like that, I'm with them all the fucking time.
Right.
So if we're pulling up to Toys R Us and I'm sitting in the back seat and I'm just sitting there, but they loading a bunch of shit in the back, I'm not like, I'll let I love a good wrap. I love a nice wrapping paper. I loved destroying that wrapping paper. Like that. They made it about just like, I don't know. It just was it was fun until it wasn't. How about that? It was fun until it wasn't, because when you're getting stuff regularly, it can be hard to surprise somebody at Christmas. You can't keep upping the ante. You can't keep upping it, the ante or whatever. So you're just kind of like, after a while, it's just kind of like, yeah, what do you want? But I think my favorite thing about Christmas, or traditionally from my family, was the food. I mean,
absolutely.
Period. Like Christmas to me was better than Thanksgiving because my grandmother is from New Orleans. So, every Christmas she would make, gumbo. And then, like she would, everyone is trying to get a bowl of this because she only does it once a year. And so, which kind of sucks. Like now I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, we should just start making this throughout the year. Like, why do we have to wait all the way to Christmas? But it was always like a nice,
expensive.
That too. But it was always so nice, you know. And so it'll be funny. It was like the battle of like the houses and the cousins and different people just like, yo, you know, is she making it? You know, it's just like rumors around the family.
We're the big gumbo.
Right. And then they'll come by and try to, you know, get a bowl. And so that was always nice because then you have like random drop-ins. And then at one point when our families were combined, we would have bigger Christmases. Like we would just go over to like one of my aunt's houses. Like they would choose usually one of my aunts and they would host and they had a big family room, big living room, you know, so like everyone could kind of be together. But you know how all families are, people fall out, shit happens. And then it's like everybody go to their respective corners and then you do your own family traditions. So yeah, I think that it was more about togetherness with us, you know, and maybe I'll go ice skating with my friends or, you know, we're going to get in a big tradition. We would get in a car and drive around Inglewood, just like on the avenues
and see the lights.
And I just be in there with the same thing. Box of Mother's cookies. And I'm just sitting in the back. I always felt like I was being chauffeured because my grandparents had a Lincoln. So it was like a nice town car. So I was just like, I'm just back here.
Felt
with
like
my
you
cookies.
was in a limousine.
I was just, like we're just chilling. I got like a chaperone. I'm good. You
Hilarious.
know? So yeah, I think that was what Christmas. And I think what I look forward to is being able to have big Christmases. Like when I do get a big enough house, I will invite everybody over. Like I don't mind hosting, and I know hosting. Not everybody has the hosting gene, you know. After a while, and especially when you get older, you're like, I don't want all these fucking people in my house. Like what?
Right.
But you know, it's fun. It's fun, at least for the holidays. It doesn't have to be like every day or anything like that. But like, come on, like I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I know it's added stress, but it's just like, well, what else are you going to be doing? Ball humbug in the corner. Like, I don't know. Like, I know there's some people who are like, I can't get with this Christmas stuff. Like, I know a few people like that where they're just like super anti. And I'm just like, that's a little too anti for me. Like, tell me your story. I want to learn more. Where did it all go wrong? Because to me, I'm just like, you are anti-joy?
Right. I think that's the thing for me. It's like, it's not about anything in particular enough for me to be against it. Like, okay, I don't have to believe in Santa. I don't have to, you know, dive into the Christ story. I don't have, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be all of that. Even if I didn't care about the gift giving, like if I think it's just a commercial holiday and that doesn't matter to me, like that, I still wouldn't be mad about it. I would just be like, but it's a time to gather with people that you love. And I can understand why some people have hard times around the holidays, especially if grief is present and family is not very together and things of that nature. I get that. But you just mad at the world because Christmas exists?
That's a bit much.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. And
that's a lot.
I want to know more. I want to know what happened.
But you know what? So I was having a conversation recently with somebody and we were talking about holidays, particularly Thanksgiving. And she was sharing with me how one of her kids, I think her kid is like a young teen now, but how one of her kids was like, why do we celebrate this given what we know about the actual history of Thanksgiving, right? And so we were talking about that. And I was like, what's interesting is I feel like growing up, my parents were very clear with us about the story we're told about these holidays and the actual story of these holidays.
Exactly.
And yet it was never this thing of like, we're not celebrating that. It was just like, this is what we actually believe is going on. And we choose to utilize this day as a day off, as a day to celebrate and be with people. It's an easy day, right? You don't have to participate in the commercialization of it if you don't want to, but like it's an easy day that's given, it's paid for most people off. Like just celebrate and gather. I don't understand why that has to be demonized or like I don't need to protest that bad.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm telling you, unless I don't know, unless there was like a massacre on that day, you know, you could just like or opening your presents or something. You look behind you and your whole family was fucking missing. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
something crazy. Like I just feel like there had to have been a traumatic something for someone to press so hard because I feel like what's wrong with again, this is I'm just my opinion. Like what's wrong with a good home cooked meal? Like I don't know. It's like
Right.
every other day we might be eating like garbage, you know, and it's like
Right.
maybe we gather, we have a nice like whatever. You don't even have to, and that's the other thing. Just because it's traditional to do turkey or whatever it is, like you can make it what you want to make it. Like
Yeah,
that's
you can do
not
whatever the hell you want,
right.
especially when
Like,
you grown.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think there are some people who really have really traumatic experiences, and I get that. But other than that, you just want to protest for why? That is so much energy. Just why?
I feel that
But
way about most holidays though. I do. I feel all holidays, you know, I don't think it should be so pressed. You know what I mean? Like
I don't
unless it's
think
like
so either.
religious, like okay, Easter, like maybe you're not religious, like that's something different. But I'm talking about like Valentine's Day, you know, like stuff, different things where it's just like it's a made up day. Why do we have to participate? Blah blah blah. Like I
You
don't think
don't.
it's all hard. Right? You don't, and I don't think it has to be a hard like yeah, you know, like it should be Valentine's Day every day. Well, motherfucker, it ain't.
Right.
It ain't.
It
Like
should be my birthday every day too,
right?
and it's
It,
not.
too, and it's not. You know, it's not. It
It
just
should be
isn't.
payday every day too, and
Right,
it's
right.
not.
We
Okay.
there's a lot of things that should be happening.
Every day, okay?
Right. Like I just don't I don't see the wrong in highlighting someone that you love. You know, I don't see like, you know, and even if it's in the small, I know like people get again, you gotta lower your expectations. You know, not everybody
Sure.
are great gift givers. Not everybody is as thoughtful as you, but like at the level at whatever level you at, you'll know what type of treatment you'll be getting.
Getting right. Mm-hmm.
And if it's not up to par, then thank you.
It
Come
ain't
again.
up to par. Right. Yeah. I don't know. People who are like that, I hope they find their way and that they are happy in life.
That
That's
was
it.
Katrina, the therapist, speaking. I don't know if you guys could tell.
That's it. That's all I have for them because I just don't have that much energy in life to be mad about stuff that like I get to choose whether I participate in that or not. I get to choose how I want to participate in that. I don't have to go around selling the stories of pilgrims for Thanksgiving. I don't have to do that. That's not if that's not my truth, it don't have to be my truth. Like why do you care so much?
You know what I really am interested in though is what are they saying in school? Like what are they telling the kids at school?
Especially nowadays, because they
Right.
don't even want to tell the story of slavery anymore.
Exactly. So I'm just wondering like what
girl, who knows? Them stories be so
they're
twisted.
all mixed up too. And it's no one script.
No, it depends on the state and the city and the county that you in. it's anyways.
Right.
Can we talk about a tradition that I didn't know existed until I was well into adulthood?
What?
Elf on the Shelf.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either. And it is a real thing that is like really alive in the world. Like a lot of people participate in it. They do it for their kids. And I've had like when I was working with kids, I've had kid clients who were like, they were really into it. It was this whole thing they would tell me all the time. And I'm like, I have no idea what this is. I don't know the origin of it. I don't know where it came from. I don't know what it's supposed to be. All I know is that there's this elf and it be doing shit. And it's obviously really the parents moving the elf around and doing shit or whatever. But like parents are like stressing about moving this elf when the kids can't see and putting the elf doing something else every day. And I had no idea this was a thing until well into adulthood.
Yeah.
We didn't. I got no.
we didn't do nothing like that. I don't remember that at all. Not even a little bit. And then apparently they be having the elf doing destructive things.
Yes.
You know, cutting up things. Like they got the scissors and stuff. I'm like, what's going on? I don't know. I think people have They're
like
creating new traditions.
Is it new though?
I think it's newer because, or not,
Okay.
maybe it's not new, but I think it's newer as in like, this is a TikTok generation. So anything to go on the gram or go on here for
It's getting
15
popularity.
seconds, it's going to get, you know, some type of push, like more than necessary. So I don't know. But again, I don't have kids. So this,
I don't either.
I never read no story growing up about no elf on the shelf. I never,
Me either.
no, I don't. Besides Santa and Mrs. Claus and the reindeer, I don't really know anybody else. Oh, and the Grinch.
And the Grinch.
Oh, and Frosty. You know, like I'm talking about
Frosty,
like,
yeah.
you know, like the OG characters, you know, the Peanuts. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
The elves were there because they were helping out in Santa's warehouse, or workshop. What was it?
Yeah. So,
but
Santa, they were there, but
shelf.
no, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
But
either.
you know, let us know, y'all, if you
is that something y'all did growing up?
Yeah, because
or is that new? Where that came from?
I would say us Black girls in Inglewood, I don't think we did that.
I don't know any Black girls in Inglewood that did that. I have no idea. I'd be really curious to hear about that. Mm-hmm. It's like some twisted Toy Story stuff to me.
Oh, it might be from a movie. I mean, you know, like it might be like a character. I don't know, but look, I'm like, it might be something. I don't know.
It's just twisted. It's like twisted Toy Story stuff. It's not scary like Chucky, but the toys are coming alive at night when nobody's looking. Everybody's back is turned and they doing stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I don't know.
Future child, I hope you are not into this because I don't know. I mean, I'll do it.
And it's not something they do. What's wild to me, it's not something that they just do for, like, Santa is a one night thing.
True.
Right? Like,
so is it like the 12 days?
It's for several days, it looks like. Like, they're doing it for several days. So this day, the elf is over here doing something. The next day, the elf is doing something. And I don't know what the tradition is, how many days it is or whatever. But, like, Santa is one day, one night. I'm going to put you leave the cookies out. I'm going to put the presents under the tree in exchange. And then you're going to wake up in the morning, there are gifts. Elf is moving every night.
No, I ain't got time. And no, I was watching this movie. It was called Merry Freaking Christmas or something like that. I think it was on Hulu, and it had like Robin Williams in it. And it was about this guy who, when he was a kid, his dad was basically a drunk. And so, of course, the kid's like, oh, I guess snuck out of his bed to go look at his presents. And his drunk dad basically told him in the moment, like, you know, none of this is real, right? And then he went through like a whole series of things of like Tooth Fairy, not real, blah, blah, blah. He like went through he went through like the whole motions of like consumerism and like all this like talk, but he's drunk. And so like from then on, this man then becomes a father. And then he's like hyper active, like wants Christmas to be the most perfect for his son, like almost overkill. And I just found it to be like incredibly sad at the end of the day because I was like, bro, your kid is about to find out the hard truth too in about a year. Like you're really stressed out, and I get it. Like that, you're a great dad. You want to make sure that they have the experience. But it was a bit much.
Yeah.
Like, so much where you're just like,
you're really pushing the issue.
Yes. Yeah. And then you're probably setting this kid up for like high expectations to the nines on like things that, you know, don't make sense.
Right.
That are not needed, you know? You're going to turn them into something that's a little bit too much, you know? Like make it cool, like make it nice, but not too nice. You know what I mean? I feel like these kids, they got it too nice, man. I had it nice growing up too, but I knew I had the great thing. What I can say, I have been on each side. I've been on the side when we've been totally just didn't have no money. And there was, you know, it was going to be, you know, kind of like a dimly lit Christmas. And then I've had it where it's been, you know, popping, like on another level popping, you know? So I think that's good to have both sides. because then you can appreciate being in the middle.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to not make it poppin' if I got it to make it poppin' just to give them that experience. Though.
Yeah, give them some coal one year. You know what I mean?
You
Make
only
it
getting
real.
2 presents
You
this
getting
year,
2
even though we got
presents.
the money for 10.
Right.
I don't know if
You was acting.
I don't
you
know
was-
if I'm doing
I
that. I
don't
think there
know.
are other ways to build grateful, appreciative, realistic children than to deprive them.
I don't
just
know,
'cause
Katrina.
just because you
Different-
can.
It's a different breed out here. I don't know, Katrina. There's a different breed of child out here. I don't know what's happening.
I think
I
there's a
don't
different
know.
breed of parent.
There's a different, well, yeah, different breed of parent, but definitely like, whoa,
The kids are still
man.
the kids, okay?
They are.
You just got to know how to parent. Anyways,
I feel like, you know who I feel like though? I will say just one thing. I do feel like when I do see kids acting out or something's happening, I go into a knee-jerk reaction where I'm just like, whoa, kind of like when you would go to maybe your white, friend's house and you would hear them talk to their mom a certain way and you'd be like, clutch your pearls.
straight full.
And you clutch your pearls like, like you could not believe it. That's
I
how
would never.
Exactly. That's how I be looking at some of the scenarios I be seeing. Like,
Yeah, because we were brought up
What?
real different.
I'm telling you, like, what?
We were brought up real different.
I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna give it up to God. I'm gonna just stay enlightened. Just try to
stay enlightened. I
That's
can't.
all I can do in this moment. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not doing the elf on the shelf. That's a no for me. But I'll bring out the heavy hitters. Frosty. I'll bring out all the peeps. Like I'm cool with like keeping the tradition alive.
I am too. I believe in that. I think that's cool. It's fun. It's good, wholesome family fun. And kids deserve good, wholesome family fun.
Exactly.
Adults deserve good, wholesome family fun. Yes, I believe in that. And I think as we get older, we may not be doing like traditional Santa anymore, but if we want to keep the traditions alive as adults, like Secret Santa with your friends or with the adults in the family, because maybe there's not as many kids around, or like whatever. Like there are different ways that we can do it. We can still have gatherings. We can still come together and cook. We can potluck it. We can whatever.
Yeah.
I think there are ways to still make it fun. Y'all can go to brunch. Hell.
Yeah, make it a mimosa Sunday,
Yeah.
okay?
I think enjoy a day, a week, a time period of being with your peeps.
As I'm
having a good
wearing
time.
my Franklin Christmas sweater.
Yeah. See?
Gotta represent because he was the only one on there. So,
Oh, child. we not even gonna go into the lack of representation on Christmas, okay? All of Katrina's wrapping paper has black folks on it. Black Santas, black kids. Cause you gonna get a black Christmas. Okay.
Yeah.
And
it's hard. It
made
is
by
hard
black
to
people.
find. It's hard to find those things, but they're out there.
It is, but I be buying them online throughout the year so I can have them.
Okay. Maybe I need to do that.
Yeah, because they, smaller businesses and stuff. I buy the ones that are made by black people, not the ones that you just find at Target and you don't know who the hell made it. I mean, that works too, but like
Target is trying.
they be trying, but some of that stuff is not made by black folks. And I want the ones that's made for us by us. I want to support the black folks, not just
Okay,
the white
boo-boo.
folks selling black folks stuff. So yeah, we're not going to get into that.
But yeah, I'm just going to keep my little traditions alive, have my little cocktails.
Maybe you need to make you some cocoa and watch a Christmas movie just to like play some Christmas music, something just to strike up your spirit.
Yeah, because I didn't do that this year. Normally I do it with a friend, like one of my really good friends, but she's out of town like until till 2024. And so normally we would get together and like I was like, oh, like we're here, but this year I just kind of put the tree up. I didn't even have no music on. I was so focused on like making sure I didn't break anything that I was just like, okay, I'll put this up. Like I had music going, but it definitely wasn't Christmas music. There was just like my Spotify just playing whatever. And then I realized I'm like, wow, I didn't do anything.
Yeah,
But,
no, you need
yeah.
to turn on some Christmas music, get on your little Christmas PJs, make some hot cocoa, get a good Christmas movie marathon going. You be in the spirit in no time.
Yeah, and I think I jump started. I think I already jump started. And I'll talk about that in roses.
Okay. All right, y'all. Well, this next segment is called Roses. Marlena, who are you giving your rose to this episode?
I'm giving it to the people of Woodland Hills because I did go, well, not all of them, but the specific, well, shout out Woodland Hills. Nice community, but Candy Cane Lane. So I did go there on Sunday and walked around with some cocoa. It was nice. It was a little cold though outside, I will admit. I needed some gloves, but other than that, the level of commitment, man, because I know these light bills must be insane. I was walking past some of these houses with these lights on. I'm like, okay, all right. I was having fun rating the houses, like to the ones that are really excited to do this. And the other ones that are like, I'm in the fucking line and there's just going to be people on my street. So I should put something up.
I should participate.
I should put something but you could tell there's no like love in it. There.
You didn't really try.
No, you didn't really try. Or the ones like, or, I would go, okay, the white, if the cool lighting versus the warm white lights,
right.
And if a house had both, and I'm like, wait, man, like, why are you sometimes that works, but it's very seldom that works together. Or the house that had this crazy, insane, like, those inflatables, like the ones in front of like a car wash, but like just a ginormous Santa, a ginormous Christmas tree, and like all these different, like, I think Frosty was out there too. And I kept thinking, like, how are these people getting inside of their house? And this is up like all month. So you're probably blocking sun, everything like coming into your, like, I don't know. It almost looked like they might have been out of town and they just set this up and then left. Cause I just don't see,
we out.
Yeah, I just don't see you staying in there all month long.
Yeah, I do wonder about that. I went to the one in Torrance, Candy Cane Lane in Torrance on Friday, and I was like, y'all be doing it. Like, y'all really be setting shit up. But it was the same thing. There was one that had this ginormous snowman. And I was like, yo, this is what my thoughts become. Is this up all day? Or does it deflate like a kid, like a jumper? And then it gets reinflated every night?
Oh,
that sounds like a lot of work.
I'm not doing that.
Does the air have to be pumped into it consistently?
Yes.
Again, like a jumper?
Yeah, I think so.
That's just running all day?
Yes.
I have so many questions, but that's commitment.
It is.
That's really commitment.
And, and commitment.
And they be doing some stuff.
They be doing some stuff. And I love that they had little, people, some of the houses, they came out, like, one was selling Mexican hot chocolates. Some people was selling tamales, like I was just walking around, like doing little taste tests here and there.
Torrance, they had no tamales.
Yeah, they had tamales. I was excited about it too.
Right. We had churros, we had hot chocolate, we had some popcorn.
Dang, they didn't have no churros.
The churros were good too.
I love a good churro.
I love a good tamale. Listen.
See, we should have swapped. I don't know. But anyway, Candy Cane Lane was popping. I wish, the one thing it would be even more better would be that if every house did it.
Yeah.
But I get it. I know. I know everybody's not going to participate, but it would be. No. I honestly, I don't even know if that city or those blocks, because they handle all those lights. Like every single house, like puts up something. I don't know. I hope
maybe though, because the neighborhoods that Candy Cane Lane is in,
they're nice.
They got money.
They got a little money. Yeah, they got a yard.
Right. They ain't doing Candy Cane Lane in Inglewood, okay?
No.
they got money, so they might be able to. They grid is popping.
Yeah. So I'm giving my rose to them. I'm giving my rose to people that do take pride and keep tradition alive. Candy Cane Lane, apparently in that particular area where I was at, has been doing that since 1951. So,
wow. That's
the
dope.
fact that there's been people moving in and out, I know it's not all original owners, and they're still doing this, and the community is all, for the most part participating. That's cool.
Mhm.
I'm sure it sucks for some people that, they're trying to get home and they just see caravans of cars.
Yeah.
I'm sure they don't like that part.
I wonder if that's something you have to
Plan
do these
for.
neighborhoods have to, or do these neighborhoods have homeowner associations or something? Do you have to? I mean, I'm sure they can't force you to participate, but is that something that comes up when you're trying to buy a house in these neighborhoods?
I know, right? And what if you didn't know?
Oh, wow. Right.
You move in, you're like, what the? Well, I can't even get out of my house. It's like a whole thing. But
That's
the cool thing,
wild.
they did do it from 7 to 10. And then everyone kind of just turns their lights out because they don't want people just
all day and all night. Yeah.
Exactly. So I guess they all agree on that. But I don't know. I feel like Christmas Day is game. It's game. You could be on all night because it's Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to them though, because we out here looking at these lights.
Yeah, and freezing, but it was fun.
It was cold. It was definitely cold.
Katrina, who are you giving your rose to?
I am giving my rose to my body today. This physical body that I am in, because she be going through some things.
All over my body. Sorry, I just had to say that.
You just had to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she be going through some things. But I feel like I am in a place of appreciation for the amount of things that my body does, endures, moves through, handles, holds, shows up for when she tired, when she just want to hibernate, when she is in pain, whatever, so on and so forth. I'm just really appreciating my body lately. So that's where my rose goes to today. Not a particular person, just this physical form that I have taken on for this lifetime, and just appreciating the ways in which it continues to carry me through the world in a fairly healthy place. I go through some things, there's stuff happening, but I am actually healthy. It's not like I'm unhealthy. It's just that, I be having problems with food and periods. But I just appreciate the ways in which my body continues to just be like, all right, girl, that was rough, but we moving. Let's go. Let's do this. So that's where my rose goes to today. My body.
Shout out to her. Like it ain't you.
Right. Thanks, girl.
We see you. Keep striving.
Well, that's another episode of Excess Baggage.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Excess Baggage Pod, and check us out on TikTok and Excess Baggage Podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, and review on the podcast app and Spotify.
And remember to pack light and keep it tight.
For sure.